cassette player, attach that to the motherboard. People who were born after 1990, computers are so different from how they were at that time. It's also
This is one of the first 50 Apple-1 computers that Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak hand-built in Steve Jobs' mom's garage. This is the first product put out by Apple Computers. It's what launched the company, what changed the world. I think of all the iPods and the iPhones and the iPads. None of that would have happened if it weren't for this computer that they put together. And you know, they made this first 50, they scrounged together money, borrowed money from different people to buy the parts to build these motherboards. And Jobs went out and really, went hard trying to get people to buy one computer. And they got really lucky in that the owner of this place called the Byte Shop in Palo Alto happened to see them giving a demonstration of a prototype. And he said, you know, I'll take 50 of those. Blowing Jobs' mind, like, God, I can't believe my first big sale. So they sell him 50, and you can identify these first 50 because on the back of the board, there's a non-sequential number written in security pen. Some historians think that it may be in the hand of the Byte Shop owner. Others believe it is in the hand of Steve Jobs. But either way, that is how we can tell the difference between that first batch of 50 and other ones. Because once they got the money for those first 50, they ran out and they bought the parts to build another 200. Now, they didn't sell all of those 200. Many of those ended up getting recycled into becoming Apple IIs, and we've got an Apple II in the exhibition as well. But for collectors, you want one of those first 50. And then you want one that's fully operational, because who wants just a dead motherboard sitting there? So this machine is fully operational. And then of the fully operational ones, you want one in impeccable condition. Now, these are computers that were made for you to go home and tinker with. You know, that this was the computer that helped people understand that this was something you could live with, you could play with, you could have fun with. You didn't have to go to a big computing center and log time and wait in line to be able to use something. This was something you could play around with at home. So people were soldering parts, and so most ones that you see are completely trashed. And in particular, there's an area on the underside of the board called the heat sink. And every time you power it up, electricity goes through the board, that area gets quite hot, and the paint underneath would chip off. So just looking at the underside of a board, you can see how often it was used by how much of the paint is there. And none of the paint is chipped off on this board, and that's because it was hardly used at all.
you sat down, you messed around and switched out different parts. And one of the problems, and that's all you got, really was the motherboard. They made a prototype and they were going
$666.66 is what Steve Jobs priced them at. Just being real funny. The story behind how this got here was there was a Tom Romkey, this is known as the Romkey Apple-1, had a computer shop in Florida. And somebody had purchased one of these first 50, it looks like from the Byte Shop. He didn't like it. He ended up moving to Florida, and he traded Tom Romkey for a different type of computer that is so unimportant. I don't even remember the name of this computer type. So Romkey somehow realized that this was an important thing, put it in a box, put it on a shelf, and didn't think about it again. Now, this was 11 years ago that I first encountered this computer. I had sold another Apple-1 for a world record price of $950,000, I believe. Tom Romkey saw that, got on an airplane, and was in New York with me the very next day. Hand carried this computer on the airplane and through security and brought it to me. And then we looked it over and realized, my gosh, this is the most pristine Apple-1 that we knew of at the time. And 10 years later, we know that it's still, nobody has found one that's better than this.
And Steve Jobs, moms were robbed. They sold out whatever they could to get the money. It really revolutionized revolutionize how the world interacted with computers. One that is fully operational and the one that is known as being in the best condition. It's something that is so foreign to digital natives or people who were born in a computer home, and it didn't require a PhD. It really revolutionized how the world interacted with computers. And then just kind of set it aside. It's a very different experience. And they took the cash from those 50 and they bought another 200 bills. So we know that there were Apple-1s made by hand in the garage. The ones that collectors, and then they took the cash from those 50 and they bought another 200 bills. So